My beloved child, there are moments you think are just part of the ordinary flow of time, but in truth, they are where your temporary life meets my eternal reality. I want you to know that tomorrow is not just another day. It is a doorway I prepared for you long ago. You do not need to step through it with fear or hesitation, but to wake up and realize I am inviting you into a deeper spiritual life. As the scripture says, this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Every moment I set for you holds a sacred meaning far beyond your current understanding. And my child, even though you carry heavy burdens and silent worries that weigh you down day after day, I have never turned my back on you. What you see as heavy burdens are actually the places where I hear you most clearly. When you sigh in silence and words fail, I still understand. Before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. Isaiah 65, verse 24. The night ahead is not a place where your anxieties will keep crushing you. It is the place where I will transform them. I do not just change your circumstances. I reach deep down into your soul where my light can scatter even the darkest hidden shadows. You might think certain dreams have died, that your prayers are forgotten, and that your passion has faded into a distant memory. But you must know this. I never forget anything you have surrendered to me in faith, no matter how small. As the scripture says, God is not unjust. He will not forget your hard work and love. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. What seems silent has not died. It is being nurtured in ways your eyes cannot yet see. And when the right time comes, it will rise again. Not as it was, but with a new, deeper, and fuller life. Remember Joseph, who was thrown into a pit and sold as if his life meant nothing. During those painful years, every dream seemed buried. Yet in that darkness, I was preparing him for a destiny he could never reach alone. You intended to harm me, but God planned it for good. Genesis chapter 50, verse 20. And so it is with you. Those seasons of loss or delay are not abandonment. They are preparation. I am weaving goodness out of the very things that confuse you. So as you step into what is coming next, do not carry doubt in your heart. Do not think you have to face this alone. I will never place you anywhere where I am not already standing. Instead, I am the one who makes a path through your deepest darkness. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 2. That light does not come from the outside. It is ignited within you when you let me move in your life. There are days when you feel like you are waiting for nothing, as if your hard work leads nowhere. But my child, waiting on me is never wasted. It is a quiet season where your heart is expanded and softened. I am preparing you to receive my gifts. If I gave you what you want before you are ready, it would be a burden, not a blessing. But when I prepare you first, then what you receive becomes a true source of life. There is a season for everything and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. You are not meant to just drift through life, repeating the same empty patterns. You are called to step into divine appointments, places where your active faith meets my voice. When they collide, something brand new is born. This is not just an outward change, but a deep renewal rising from your very soul. I do not want to just improve your life. I want to recreate you. So, my beloved, open your heart. Do not close yourself off because of past disappointments. Do not trap yourself in the limits of your past experiences. I am the God of total restoration and brand new beginnings. Look, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Can you not see it? Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19. What I am doing is not limited by your past. Even when you cannot see the path clearly, I am still guiding you step by step. You do not have to understand everything to keep moving forward. You only need to trust that I am right here with you. And as you trust me, you will begin to realize that absolutely everything, even the hard things you thought were dark, is becoming a gateway to draw you closer to me. Walk in peace. Let your heart rest in my presence. When that moment comes, You will not see it as just another day, but as a sacred encounter, a moment of connection where you realize, I have always been right here waiting, calling you, and leading you into a deeper life than you ever imagined, ever. My beloved child, there are truths I speak that simply do not fit into time as you understand it. With me, every single moment holds the weight of eternity. When I speak of a night that is coming, I am not speaking of physical darkness, but a moment of connection where your soul is ready to meet me. It is the hour when the noise fades, so you are no longer distracted by the outside world. Turn inward to the quiet place where I have waited so long. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46, verse 10. These words are not just an invitation. They are a doorway, helping you realize that I have never once left you, not even for a single second. You once believed the quiet seasons meant I was far away, as if I had stopped speaking and left you to walk alone. But, my child, it is in that exact quietness that I am doing more than you could ever imagine. My work is not always visible right away, but that does not mean I'm standing still. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. Isaiah 55, verse 8. When you do not understand, when you cannot see or feel me, that is not the moment I have gone, but when I am shaping things far beyond your sight. Remember young Samuel lying in the temple as a little boy. He heard a voice, but did not realize it was mine. 3 times he ran to his teacher, thinking a man called him, until he learned to say, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." 1 Samuel 3, verse 10. It is the same with you. I have called to you in the silence before, but you missed my voice because you were waiting for something louder, something more obvious. I often do not come in the wind or earthquake, but in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 19, verse 12. The quiet night you are entering is the exact place where you will learn to recognize my voice. You do not need to be perfect to step into what I have planned. I am not waiting for you to become strong, capable, or worthy on your own. I am simply looking for a heart willing to listen. When I spoke to Abraham under the starry night, I did not ask him to understand the whole journey, only to believe. Look up and try to count the stars. Count them. So shall your descendants be. Genesis 15, verse 5. That promise relied on my faithfulness, not his strength. You are standing before similar promises now. Do not try to analyze them. Just trust me. Maybe you feel your life is too plain, too quiet, and too ordinary for me to step in. But you are looking through human eyes, not my eternal light. Nothing in your life is meaningless. No detail is too small. Aren't 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one falls without your Father knowing. Matthew 10:29. If I care for the smallest birds, how much more do I care for you, whom I made with love and purpose? And my child, what I am preparing happens not because you are ready, but because the perfect time has come. When Esther was called to the palace, she did not pick that path, nor did she choose the timing. Yet when the moment arrived, she knew she was there for such a time as this. Esther 4, verse 14. So it is with you. What lies ahead is not random chance, but part of a divine plan. Do not fear when you cannot see the whole picture. Do not pull back because you feel unqualified. I do not ask for self-confidence, but for simple trust in me. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, and not to cause you harm, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29, verse 11. That promise is not just ancient history, it is for you right here and now. So when the moment comes, do not rush or worry. Do not try to control everything. Quiet your heart, keep your spirit open, and let me guide your steps. I am doing more than just changing your circumstances. I am expanding your soul to receive things deeper and more real. You are not stepping into this alone. I am already there. I am there when you enter, and I will be there when you leave. I do not just call you into a moment. I am the faithful friend who walks beside you through every single step. In my presence, you will realize that what you waited for was never an event or a season. It was me, my beloved child. Some seasons in your life feel like they will never end. Times when it is so quiet you feel like nothing is happening. Yet in that stillness, I am carving beautiful things deep into your soul, not with rush, but with patience and endless love. You often look for loud signs and big miracles to prove that I am working, yet I choose to come softly, like the first light of dawn slipping through a crack or a gentle breeze that only the most attentive souls can feel. As it is written, he will not shout or raise his voice in the streets. Isaiah 42 verse 2. My presence does not need noise to be real. There are moments when you stop expecting and stop searching, because you have grown so tired of waiting. Yet it is the exact moment you let go of your expectations that I step in. You might think I arrive late, but I have never once been late. To the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years like a single day. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8. My timing is not ruled by your perspective, but built on eternal wisdom. You see delay, but I see preparation finishing its work. My beloved child, do not let the lie that you are not good or worthy enough force you to pull away. I do not demand perfection. I look for hearts willing to open. I desire mercy, not empty sacrifice. Hosa Shasa Shah. What I truly long for is not a performance, but absolute honesty when you meet with me. You do not have to prove your value to step into what I have prepared. My love is your foundation, not your performance. Think of the tax collector who kept his distance inside the temple, not even daring to look up to heaven, but beating his chest, crying, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Luke 18:13. He was the one who went home justified, not because he was flawless, but because he knew his need. It is the same for you. The door I open is not a prize for being perfect, but a gift of my mercy. The future before you is not something you have to earn. It is a gift you are invited to receive. So as you prepare to step into this moment, do not strain to perform some great act just to feel worthy. Instead, quiet your soul in stillness and simple thanks. Rest before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37 verse 7. It is inside that quietness you will realize I am closer than ever. Every breath you breathe, every quiet pause can become a sacred space where I touch your life. And as you open your eyes to greet the new day, you won't view things the same way anymore. Not because your world has suddenly shifted, but because you have been made completely new from within. The light you see won't be from this world, but the clear awareness that I am present in every single detail. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1 verse 5. Once your eyes open, you will see I never left your side. You might still carry deep, quiet burdens, silent worries, thoughts, and heavy, nameless weights. You used to believe these things kept you far from me. But my child, those are the exact places I choose to enter. I don't wait for you to be free of burdens before I come. I come to touch those heavy loads. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Nothing you carry is too small or heavy for my care. What you call weakness, I call an open door. What you view as darkness, I see as the exact spot where my light can shine brightest. You never need to hide or fix these things before approaching me. I long to enter that very space, the space where you are completely real, where you stop pretending and are simply yourself, my beloved child. There are hidden corners in your heart that even you dread to face, spaces you label as darkness. Yet those are the exact rooms I long to enter first. I don't visit only when you are strong and whole, but when you are completely honest. When you finally stop hiding what weighs you down, you'll find a weariness you haven't yet dared to name. Not a tired body, but a quiet erosion of the soul after walking a long path without seeing the fruit you prayed for. You have carried this burden in silence, believing you must stay strong, that you must stand firm and never look weak. But child, I don't require a life braced in constant strain. I want a heart that dares to open. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11, verse 28. This is not some far-off comfort, but a direct, loving invitation to you here and now. Right inside that deep exhaustion, I place my hand on you. Not to leave you weary, but to breathe a new life into you that you could never build on your own. You have not turned away from me yet. Deep down inside you secretly wonder, if I still care for your life. It is not that you lost your faith, but you guard your heart, keeping a safe distance, as if you no longer dare to draw close. You still pray, reciting those same familiar words. Still, there is a quiet hesitation inside an empty space you cannot seem to fill. I see this, and I do not judge you. Faith does not mean walking without doubt. It is simply keeping your steps moving toward me, even in your deepest uncertainty. Remember the Father who cried, "I believe, help my unbelief," in Mark chapter 9, verse 24. That prayer was not rejected, but met with deep healing. It is the same with you. I never turn my eyes away when you are struggling with doubt. In those quiet moments, I am preparing you to see that my presence has never left. No matter how much your feelings might shift, there is a different voice whispering inside you, constantly telling you that you are simply not enough, unworthy, and out of place. You look at others and compare your life, so you withdraw, believing you are nothing but a faint shadow in a world that feels far too vast. But my child, your value is not measured by human eyes, but by me, the Creator who formed you. Praise me, for you are fearfully and wonderfully made. As Psalm 139 verse 14 says, "You are no copy, and never a mistake to be fixed. You are my deliberate creation, carrying the very breath of life I placed in you." I never called you to be someone else. I am calling you back to who you truly are. The person I designed, loved unconditionally, and gave a unique purpose to. I want to tear down those false labels you carry, not with force, but through the gentle light of truth, showing who you are in me. And then there is that secret you bury deeper than anything else, a deep longing that used to burn bright, but now feels like a distant memory. You once believed, prayed, and waited, but as the years passed with no answer, you tucked it away in a quiet corner of your heart, assuming it was impossible. You do not talk about it anymore, afraid that opening up to hope will only lead to disappointment again. But my beloved, I do not just hear the words you say out loud. I listen to the prayers you have buried. What you think is dead has never vanished from my sight. It is merely sleeping, waiting for me to breathe life back into it. Just as I stood before the tomb and called Lazarus to come out. In John chapter 11, verse 43, life itself answered my voice, rising above all human limits. What I do is never bound by time or circumstances. And if you let me, I will touch the dreams you abandoned. Not just to bring them back as they were, but to reshape them into something deeper, grander, and completely aligned with the destiny I always intended for you. So, my beloved, do not fear the dark corners of your heart. Do not feel you must clean them up before I arrive. Those broken places are the exact doors I choose to enter. Your exhaustion does not push me away. It draws me closer. Your doubts do not make me walk away. They make me stay even longer. Your feelings of inadequacy will never cause me to reject you. They only open the door for my unconditional love. And those dreams you buried have never been forgotten. They are safe in my keeping, waiting for the day I call them out. Open your heart to me, not with struggle, but with simple honesty. Let me step into every hidden corner of your soul. And when you let me touch those painful spaces, you will see that no part of you is beyond healing. It is never too late for renewal. I am the one who breathes life into all things. I did not come to judge you, but to guide you into the abundant life I planned for you from the very start. My precious child, I know the exhausted prayers you have whispered, asking for simple relief, begging for your heavy burdens to be lifted, asking for quick answers so you can finally breathe again. But my child, what I'm working out goes far beyond resolving your immediate struggles. I am not just changing your circumstances. I am transforming who you are. When I step into the painful areas of your past, I do not just make the scars disappear. I use those trials to reshape your soul, changing how you see how you live and how you value yourself. We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, as promised in Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Not because every situation is good, but because I redeem them in my hands. Your past struggles might have convinced you that you are defined by failure, anxiety, and empty spaces that can never be filled. But when my grace touches those wounds, those false identities begin to shatter. You are no longer defined by your history, but fully restored by my healing touch. I am not just patching up a broken vessel. I am building you anew, like a potter, molding clay exactly as he desires. Can I not do with you as this potter does, as written in Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 6? You are never stuck in your old ways. You are always in my hands for renewal. Think of Job, who endured heavy losses that seemed far too painful for any human to bear. He lost everything that mattered most, yet he refused to turn his heart away from me, even when standing in complete ruin. I did not just restore what he lost. I transformed him at his very core. The Lord restored Job's fortunes, giving him twice what he had before. Job chapter 42, verse 10. Yet even greater was that he met me more deeply than ever. It is the same with you. What you carry now is not the end, but the start of a loving rescue I have already begun. You often ask why struggles keep repeating, as if you are trapped in an endless loop. But my child, there is another question I want you to consider. Could that painful place be where you truly meet me? When you invite me in, what once felt like a heavy burden becomes an altar, a place to drop every worry, every grief, and receive my presence instead. Offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Not perfection, but the gift of your true self. You have carried some burdens so long you think they are your destiny, as if you must live with them forever. But your future is not defined by what you carry. Your life is held in my hands as I touch and change every part of it. When I move, shadows cannot hide you. They turn into openings where light streams in. What once brought you shame, I will use to show my glory. The secrets you hid can become a beautiful story of my grace. A day is coming when you realize the things that made you bow your head are where I will lift you up. Those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. Psalm 126, verse 5. Not because tears cause joy, but because I turn them into a harvest. When my light touches those secret corners, you won't look at them with shame or fear anymore, but with gratitude, knowing it was there that I met you and made you new. My beloved child, do not think what you laid down is gone. The dreams you put aside because you thought it was too late are not lost to the years. Nothing you placed in my hands is forgotten. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. This is more than comfort for the future. It is a promise that I remember every tear you have cried. I am keeping certain promises safe and warm, not because I am slow, but because I am waiting for the perfect moment to reveal them. So, my beloved, open your heart again. Stop holding on to the past as if it defines who you are today. Let me come in not just to fix things, but to make them new. When you see light shining into your dark places, you will realize your journey was never a series of failures, but a path I used to lead you to a deeper life. Prepare your heart in peace, not with worry or rush, but with total trust. For the season of awakening, what you thought was dead is coming soon. And when it is revealed, you will see I never forgot anything that belongs to you. I was only waiting for the perfect moment to make it more beautiful than you imagined. My child, maybe you don't even remember the last time you whispered to me about that deep need. Maybe those prayers feel lost in the distant past, faded by daily worries and quiet disappointments. But my child, I do not look at the passing years. I see my own constant faithfulness that has carried you. What you think is lost has actually been kept safe in my care. Like a gardener tending seeds in dry soil, you cannot see the growth yet. But that does not mean life is gone. I am nourishing the roots, the deepest, most secret place where the strength of your future is built. There are dreams I keep from blooming too early, not because I do not care, but because I love you too much to give them over before you are ready. If a young plant is pulled up before its roots are deep, it cannot survive the hot sun and fierce winds. Likewise, if what you want is handed to you before your heart is ready, it might become a burden, not a blessing. The Lord keeps you. Psalm 121, verse 5. In that protection, I do not just keep you safe, I also preserve your blessings for the perfect moment. I do not rush like you do, for I see the whole picture that you cannot see yet. Remember Sarah, who laughed when promised a child in her old age. Her laughter was not from joy, but unbelief because she thought it was impossible. But I am never limited by your impossible. Is anything too hard for the Lord? Genesis chapter 18, verse 14. And in the exact place where life seemed dead, I brought forth new birth. A baby's cry arose after years of heavy silence. It is the same with you. There are situations you have already labeled dead and hopeless, but to me, they are simply waiting to be called forward at the perfect hour. Maybe you once prayed for simple things, a safe place to belong, someone who genuinely understands you, an open door where you can finally step into your true, God-given purpose. You poured out your heart to me, but then drifted into silence when the answers did not come as expected. You started believing I had stopped listening, but my beloved, no prayer ever vanishes into empty space. His ears are open to your cries, as Psalm 34:15 promises. Every single word you whisper is a seed placed into my hands, and I nurture them with a deep patience you do not yet understand. What you view as a delay, I call preparation. This season of waiting you are navigating is not a waste of time. It is the exact moment your spiritual roots are growing deeper. This is where your trust is built no longer on what you see, but on who I am. Even if nothing changes on the outside, you are being transformed within. I use every day you decide to keep pushing through the heaviness. Every tear you cry in secret, every moment you refuse to quit, works to build a stronger foundation deep inside you. The righteous will live by faith, as Romans 1:17 says. And it is in this quiet wait that your faith is forged. You might not feel like you are growing because spiritual growth does not always come wrapped in a feeling of strength. Most of the time, it happens quietly on days you just keep showing up. You keep believing even when the path ahead is dark. But I see you. I see every step, every choice not to run, and how you cling to the tiniest thread of hope. I never overlook your efforts, for God is always just. He will not forget your hard work, as Hebrews 6:10 promises. Your loyalty, no matter how small, is never forgotten by me. Your season will change when the time is right. Not because you forced it, but because it was already appointed by heaven. When that breakthrough arrives, what I give you will not just be what you originally prayed for. It will be something better, renewed, refined, and delivered at the perfect moment when you are truly ready to receive it. You will realize that if it had arrived any sooner, you could not have carried it. But you are different now. You are stronger, steadier, and far more resilient. My dear child, there are prayers you whispered to me so long ago that you probably cannot even remember the last time you brought them up. Years may have covered those old dreams with dust, but to me, nothing ever fades away. I do not measure things by the calendar, but by my eternal loyalty while you wait. What you think is lost is actually being carefully protected by me. Like a farmer sowing seeds in dry ground, you cannot see the new life starting. But that does not mean nothing is happening. A hidden seed sprouts and grows, even if the worker does not understand how. Mark 4:27 shows us that true life always starts in secret beyond what your eyes can see. There are some dreams I keep from blooming too early, not because I do not care about your deepest desires, but because I love you too much to give you a blessing before you can carry it. A tender plant uprooted too soon will easily wither in the harsh sun and wind. Likewise, if your prayers are answered before your heart is ready, those very blessings could become heavy burdens that wear you down. I protect what is genuine, and I wait for the perfect moment when you can receive it with joy, no longer rushed or anxious. The Lord holds back no good thing from those who walk with him. As Psalm 84:11 promises that divine goodness always shows up at the exact right moment. Think of Sarah, who laughed when she first heard my promise. That laugh was not born of joy, but of disbelief in the face of the impossible. Yet I am never restricted by what you consider reality. Is anything too hard for the Lord, as Genesis 18:14 asks? Where hope seemed dead, I still brought forth life. The cry of a newborn broke the long silence, not through human effort, but by my supernatural power. What you believe is dead and gone is to me only resting, waiting to be called forth. Remember when you first brought me your simple desires of finding a home, of finding someone who truly understands, and of an open door to step into your divine destiny. But when the answer did not come, you slowly stopped asking. And in that quiet, you assumed I had stopped speaking as well. You believed your cries had vanished into thin air. But dear child, not one word you ever lift to me is lost. The Lord is close to all who call on him, just as Psalm 145:18 promises. Every prayer is a seed. I have gathered them, nurturing each one with a level of patient care that you cannot yet see from where you stand. What you see as a delay is never a rejection. It is simply the journey to a perfect moment where your heart is fully prepared, where all things align perfectly, and where my gift to you becomes a complete and flawless blessing. I do not rush. I care far less about simply handing you a gift and far more about who you become when you receive it. There is a season for everything. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. My timing is never wrong. This quiet season of waiting you are walking through is not an empty void. It is a time for your roots to grow deep, building a faith based not on what you see, but on who I am. Even when nothing changes on the outside, you're being stretched and strengthened within. I have used every single day you chose to keep walking, even with a heavy heart. Every quiet tear you shed, every time you refuse to give up sent us without answers. It all builds a deep foundation. Remember, those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. Psalm 126:5. For I turn every tear into a beautiful harvest of life. You might not feel yourself growing, but real change usually happens in absolute silence. But I see you. I see every single step. Every moment you cling to hope, even when it feels incredibly fragile. And I never forget, God is always just, and he remembers your hard work. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. Your faithfulness, even when it feels small, is deeply valued and cherished by me. So my beloved, rest in my devotion to you. Don't let the passing of time feed your doubts or the quiet make you think I've forgotten. None of your prayers are lost. No dream you've placed in my hands has been abandoned. They are all safe and nurtured, being prepared for the moment you'll finally receive them and truly understand why you had to wait so long. When that day arrives, you'll see that through this entire journey, my eyes were always on you. I never looked away, not even for a second. My dear child, don't be afraid to go back to those doors you shut when you were tired and disappointed. I'm not leading you back there to bring up old pain, but to breathe fresh life into those forgotten spaces. The dreams you think have gathered dust over the years are, in my eyes, still holding seeds of goodness ready to bloom. When you invite me in, I don't tear down who you were. Instead, I restore and renew you from the inside out, bringing what was asleep back to life with brand new purpose. Look closely. I am doing a fresh work, and it is springing up now. Can you not see it? Isaiah 43, verse 19. You are not left stranded in your past. You are being prepared for a gift that will arrive at the perfect moment. Not early, not late, but right on time. One day you will look back at the things you thought were dead and gone, realizing they never truly vanished. I was holding them safely in my hands, waiting for the right moment. Then you will finally see the deeper truth. Your worth isn't found in your achievements, nor does it depend on what has or hasn't happened. It doesn't grow when you succeed, and it never shrinks when you fall. Your value is anchored in my constant love for you. Remember, the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel chapter 16. In my eyes, I do not see your wins or failures, but the beautiful soul I created. I am not just going to transform your circumstances. I want to change how you see yourself. My child, I am taking you on a deeper journey, not to change things around you, but within you, where you will discover the true value of your soul. It is not about what you do, who praises you, or what you own. All of those things can fade away. And God looked at everything he had made and called it very good. Genesis chapter 1, verse 31. Those words were not just meant for the dawn of creation. They were spoken over you, crafted with my perfect love and intention. Your worth has nothing to do with what you achieve. It comes simply from the fact that you are mine. I know there are hard days when you feel completely worthless, stumbling over the same mistakes, dealing with quiet failures, while the harsh words and judgments of others whisper constantly that you are just not enough, that you are unworthy. But, my beloved, those thoughts are only the echo of a broken world and the fear in your own heart. That is not the truth. Listen to my voice. I have never once defined you by your failures. I have called you by your name. You are mine. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1. I see the true identity I gave you. You are loved. You are chosen. You are protected. Just remember the story of the prodigal son. He came home weighed down by deep shame, convinced he did not deserve to be called a son anymore, just hoping to work as a servant. Yet the father ran to him, hugged him close without asking questions or demanding proof. This son of mine was dead and is alive again. Luke chapter 15, verse 24. See, his mistakes did not change who he was, and his father's love never grew cold because of the distance. It is the exact same with you, no matter what you have been through. I still look at you with that same gaze of pure, unchanging love. So do not let other voices tell you who you are. Do not let your unmet goals decide your worth. I do not look at you through what is missing, but through the complete design I placed inside you. My grace is always enough for you. 2 Corinthians 12:9. For in your weakness my divine strength is most clearly revealed. This means you do not have to be perfect to be worthy. You had value long before you achieved anything. My beloved, open your heart to let me change how you see yourself. Let me strip away the lies you have quietly carried. Let my light break into the dark places where you have hidden away. And as you start seeing yourself through my eyes, you will realize you are not defined by failures, but crafted day by day in absolute love. Walk ahead in peace, not because you have earned everything, but simply because you know you belong to me. When you stand firm in that truth, nothing can steal your value. No bad season can ever define you again, for the truest voice still whispers over your life, not the noisy world, but my gentle, steady voice. You are loved from the start, and forever, my precious child. How many heavy labels have you worn without even realizing it? You look at your achievements, your status, the approval and judgment of others, the heavy expectations, and you quietly judge your own worth based on those things. I know how hard you have struggled to be seen, to be accepted, to feel like you finally measure up. And when you fall short, you beat yourself up believing you are useless and a failure. But my child, that is not the truth. You do not need to fight for love because my love found you before you ever started trying. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. No one understands you more deeply than me, and no earthly standard can define you more truly than the promises I have spoken over you from the start. So my child, do not give up, but stop chasing the empty shadow of approval. The more you run, the further you drift from who you are, losing the peace you desperately seek. But when you stop, you will realize I am still right here, never leaving you, never turning away, but standing right where you gave up on yourself, looking at you with pure mercy and zero judgment. Be still before the Lord, waiting patiently. Psalm 37:7. When you lift your eyes to me, you will see the person you have long forgotten, not a version twisted by comparison, but a beautiful soul made to live, not to be measured. Do you remember Peter? He once boldly promised his loyalty, yet denied me 3 times at his absolute lowest. He thought he lost it all, believing he could never stand beside me again. But when we met again after the resurrection, I did not bring up his mistakes. I did not question his messy past. I simply asked, "Do you love me, John 21:17? Because what I want is not a perfect past, but a heart ready to return. And so it is with you. I do not view you through your failures, but through your power to heal in my love. I come to you today not to condemn, but to rebuild. Do you dare to believe your true value has never actually been lost? Even after you fall, my child, the more you hide from me, the more you will feel like an unfinished story, as if your life is just broken pieces. But when you turn back, Even with the softest whisper, Lord, here I am. I instantly call you by a name no one can steal. You are mine. Isaiah 43:1. You are loved. You have purpose and you are chosen. You do not need to prove yourself or fight to earn this. You only have to receive it. And in receiving a new supernatural strength will rise inside you, a strength that no longer relies on what people think. What I am building in you is not pride, based on success, but a deep humility, built on knowing you are unconditionally loved. That person has no need to compare, compete, or push themselves above others. They walk in total freedom, knowing they are already secure in the hands of the one who never changes. Let the one who boasts boast in the Lord. 2 Corinthians 10:17. When you stand on that truth, you will never be shaken by the shifting world, and you will begin to look at your failures in a whole new way. They will no longer be your end, nor proof that you are inadequate, but places where we meet, where you discover how deep my mercy really runs. My grace is all you need, for my power works best in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Right where you felt the weakest, I have laid the foundation for your greatest breakthrough. Maybe right now, you are at a crossroads where none of your old plans seem to work anymore. The paths you trusted have grown blurry, and you find yourself stuck in a season of waiting you cannot control. You might call this a painful delay, but I call it an invitation to trust. Not because you are forced to be helpless, but as a child, choosing to trust the wisdom of their Father. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Psalm 37. That quiet stillness is not doing nothing. It is a heart posture that trusts I am at work even when you cannot see it. You might think yielding means sitting idle, but my child, true obedience is a lifestyle. It is moving under my guidance, walking to heaven's rhythm instead of rushing with the world. This is not giving up in defeat, but joining in close partnership with me. Obeying does not mean losing your choice. You are simply trusting your steps to me, the one who sees the road ahead. And when you finally take that step of faith, you will feel a shift. Your heart will grow lighter. The heavy weights you once carried will no longer crush you because you are finally letting go of control. You no longer have to struggle as if you are alone, but as a beloved child who feels their Father's hand. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Letting go is not losing. It is freedom. Think of Abraham when I asked him to sacrifice Isaac, his most beloved son. He did not understand the plan. He could not see how it would end, yet he still walked forward. Through his obedience, I showed him I never wanted to take away, but to build an unshakable faith inside him. The Lord will provide. Genesis 22:14. It is the same with what I ask you to surrender. It is never to cause you loss, but to teach you to trust that I am your provider. I do not demand perfection from you, only a willing heart. A shaky, uncertain step of faith is worth far more than perfect plans that hold no trust. When you whisper, Lord, I do not see the way, but I choose to follow you, you are stepping into pure faith, for we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. And in that exact dark space of uncertainty, my true light begins to break through. My child, put your hand on your chest and speak to me honestly. Tell me you trust that I know the path better than you, not out of weakness, but because you know I am the source of wisdom that never fails you. When you walk in this path, every single step you take, even the tiny slow ones, becomes a song of trust. Soon you will see that not a single tear you have cried was wasted, and not a single mistake was meaningless. No setback is too far from my reach. Everything you have faced, are facing, and will face, is being woven into a beautiful narrative, a story of complete restoration and hope. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, Romans 8:28. This means even what makes no sense is being beautifully transformed in my timing. Come close to me, my child. Stop standing far off with all your unanswered questions. Just stay in my presence. You do not have to figure everything out to find rest here. I am teaching you not just how to walk, but how to see everything through my perspective. Even the darkest moments can shine brightly when you place them in my hands. My precious child, as you start looking back at your past with softer, gentler eyes. And when you stop believing your pain was pointless, I want you to pause and listen to the deep work I am doing inside you. My greatest gift to you is not some loud, obvious change on the outside, but a silent healing process reshaping your heart. I did not come just to fix details or patch up what was broken. I am here to awaken your true identity, the one I designed long before wounds, fears, and worldly judgments hid you away. I know you still carry deep desires. You want doors to open, relationships to heal, pain to end, and burdens to feel lighter. I hear every word, and I truly understand. I cherish every word you bring to me. But if I only changed your circumstances, without changing your heart, you would take that same pain with you. That is why my work does not stop at simply fixing your external situation. I am rebuilding you from the inside out. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147:3. This healing is no quick fix. It is a renewal from your core. This change does not happen with loud noise or sudden miracles to impress you. It unfolds in the quietest moments. In those times you choose to yield instead of fight. And in the quiet, yes, you whisper. In those moments, you continue to believe when nothing is clear. It is like the mustard seed I spoke of, so small you could miss it, yet carrying the power to move mountains. If your faith is only as small as a mustard seed, absolutely nothing will be impossible for you. Matthew 17:20. Every time you whisper that you still believe, even through tears, I touch your soul, drawing you closer to my heart. Do you remember Abraham? When I asked Abraham to offer up Isaac, his most precious treasure, he didn't fully understand or see how it would end. Still, he kept walking forward. And through his obedience, I showed him that I never wanted to take away, but to build an unshakable faith. The Lord will provide. Genesis 22:14. It is the same with you. What I ask you to let go of is not to cause you pain, but to teach you that I am your provider. I'm not looking for flawless perfection in you. I just want a willing heart. A trembling step, even when you don't fully understand, is worth far more than calculated moves without any trust. When you tell me, Lord, I can't see the path yet, but I'll still follow you, you enter the very heart of faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. And inside the shadows of uncertainty, my true light begins to break through. My beloved child, put your hand on your heart and speak honestly with me. Choose to trust that I know the way better than you do. Not out of weakness, but because you know I am your unfailing source of wisdom. When you walk in that quiet obedience, every single step, no matter how small or slow, becomes a quiet song of trust. On this journey, you'll realize that not a single tear you've wept has been wasted. No failure is pointless. No step backward can ever pull you beyond my reach. Everything you've endured, everything you face now, and all that lies ahead is being shaped into a beautiful story, a story of healing and renewal. For we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. Romans 8:28. This means even the things you don't understand, I am turning into something beautiful in my perfect timing. Draw close to me, my child. Don't hide in the distance with your questions. Stay here in my presence where you don't have to figure everything out just to find rest. Because I'm not just teaching you how to walk, but how to see your entire life through my eyes. My light can make even the darkest moments radiant when you surrender them to me, my child. As you look back on your path with kinder eyes, no longer believing that your brokenness was all for nothing, I want you to pause and listen to the deep work happening inside you. The greatest gift I have for you isn't some loud, visible shift, but a quiet, beautiful heart transformation. I don't come just to fix a few small details or patch up what's broken. I come to awaken who you truly are, the person I created before pain, fear, and the world's harsh judgments covered you. I know there are deep longings still in your heart, a door to open a broken relationship, to heal a burden to be lifted, or a lighter path ahead. I hear every prayer. I understand completely, and I treasure every single word you bring to me. But my child, if I changed your situation without healing your heart, you would only carry that same emptiness into the next season. That's why my work doesn't stop at fixing your surroundings. I am actively rebuilding you from the inside out. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, Psalm 147:3. This isn't a surface band-aid, but a complete renewal of your soul. The changes I bring don't always come with loud noise or overnight miracles that shock you. It happens in the smallest moments. When you choose to surrender instead of fighting, or when you whisper a quiet yes. It shows up when you keep believing, even when the path is dark. It's like that tiny mustard seed, so small it easily gets overlooked. Yet it carries the power to move mountains. If you have faith as tiny as a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible. Matthew 17:20. Each time you whisper, "I still believe," with a shaking voice, is a moment I hold you close and shape your heart. So when you review your life, don't just look for external changes. Instead, count the moments you grew stronger in faith, kinder in love, and patient in waiting. These are the true signs of the miracles I have done inside you. A miracle isn't always a spectacle for others. Often it's a quiet shift inside you that you don't even notice at first. As you draw close to me, you'll see that this heart transformation isn't the final destination. It is just the beginning. Once you are changed, you don't just receive blessings. You become a vessel of blessing to the world. The darkness we spoke of isn't the end, but a door opening to a brand new life. A life where we walk together, writing every single chapter hand in hand, not in flawless perfection, but true companionship. And remember, I am with you always, even to the very end of the age, Matthew 28:20. You aren't wandering aimlessly anymore. You're being lovingly led. I know there have been many roads you've traveled with tired, heavy feet. Those quiet nights when you felt lost in silence, unable to hear my voice. Times when you wondered if you took a wrong turn and if the painful wounds you carry have any real purpose. But my child, every single step you take matters to me. For the Lord protects the path of the faithful. Proverbs chapter 2, verse 8. I watch every step you take. Whenever you stand firm, even while shaking with fear, I see you. When you felt completely exhausted in your darkest valley, I didn't pull you out instantly. I held you up, step by small step. As you gasped for air on the steep cliffs of doubt, my breath was what kept you standing. The twisting roads you thought led nowhere were already mapped out by my hand. Not to break you, but to grow and strengthen your soul. Even when I walk through the darkest valley of death, I will fear no danger, because you are right beside me. Psalm 23, verse 4. The road to true glory always winds through difficult times. But that is where my light shines brightest. I don't cause these dark valleys to happen, but I promise you won't walk through them alone. I walk into the darkness with you. My hope won't just guide your path from ahead. It will burn deep inside you. As that fire grows, you'll see you aren't just searching for a way out anymore. You are becoming a beacon for others. My precious child, listen closely. The road ahead of you isn't some cruel test to prove how strong you can be. I map this journey because I know there's a beautiful treasure inside you waiting to be uncovered. A strength that can only show itself when the easy seasons end and the winds get rough. Certain callings are never heard when life is peaceful. They only become crystal clear during heavy storms. Some spiritual gifts cannot be found in comfortable abundance. They are only given when you have nothing left but faith. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for, assurance about what we cannot see. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. I know this hurts, but I also know your strength. I see what others miss, your quiet devotion on the days you keep pressing on through pure doubt. I see how you choose to love others even while your own heart is hurting. I see your secret sacrifices and how you stand back up when nobody is watching you. And my child, it is in those secret corners of your life where heaven opens to bless you. Not before a crowd or under bright spotlights, but in the quiet room where you kneel and pray. Lord, I still believe, and your Father who sees everything you do in private will surely reward you. Matthew chapter 6, verse 6. Not a single tear you cry is ever wasted. The mountain peak you are climbing isn't for those who have never known suffering. It's for those who walk step by step in faith, depending not on physical proof, but on absolute trust. And I have personally prepared that place for you, not just so you can see the beautiful view, but so you can realize how much you have grown. When you stand there, you won't just look back at the trail you walked, but at the person you've become, someone I lovingly shaped through every mistake. He makes all things beautiful in their proper time. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11. My child, never assume I am gone just because you can't feel my presence. My nearness never depends on your fleeting emotions. Even when you cannot see me, I am working. I will never walk away. I will never leave you or abandon you. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. The inner strength you possess is not your own creation. It is my life within you. In your deepest weakness, I am your power. When you lose your direction, I am your path. When you doubt your value, I still call you by that sacred, unchanging name. My beloved, do not fear those times of emptiness. That hollow feeling is not a loss. It is just an open room I am preparing to fill. Quiet seasons do not mean abandonment. They are fertile ground where the seeds of my grace can take deep root. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46, verse 10. Those quiet days when you think nothing is changing are actually when I am doing my deepest work in you. And when you finally look back, you will see that every single mile of this journey had a purpose. Every hard climb, every sharp turn, and every second you almost collapsed has brought you to a divine appointment I scheduled long ago. It isn't some faraway destination, but the moment you truly discover who you are in me. But remember, you do not walk alone. The hope you received was never meant to be hidden. You must share it with others. I want you to take the healing you have found and offer it to the weary, the lost, and those who weep in secret. You are the light of the world. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. Not because you are flawless, but because my glory shines through you. You don't have to act like you have all the answers. Just speak honestly about what I have done for your soul. Tell them about the dry deserts you survived, of how I held you up, and the dark nights where I gently healed your heart. The truth that you were once broken, but are now being healed, will become a powerful invitation. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. So, my beloved, walk with gentle courage. Do not fear, because I am always with you. Open your heart and let your life story become a source of hope for others. For when you live in the light I have placed deep inside you, you do not just find your own way, you become a beacon guiding other souls. And I, your Father, will always be right there, walking with you step by step, until your story becomes an endless symphony of grace. My beloved child, picture this clearly. Imagine someone trembling with fear looking into your eyes and finding a peace they cannot explain. A person who has lost hope hears your voice and senses a strength deeper than their troubles. A weary soul crosses your path and feels a quiet joy, gentle, unforced, and completely undeniable. At first, they might not understand what is happening, but they will feel it. Because what I put inside you is meant to overflow, not be hidden away. Shine your light before others. Matthew chapter 5, 16. Not through loud words, but through a transformed life. You do not have to go around shouting that you belong to me. When you live in the light, your daily life becomes a letter, written not with ink, but with your actions, your choices, and your reactions to everyday moments. You are a letter from Christ written not with ink, but with the Spirit. 2 Corinthians 3:3. And what makes that letter real is your true story, a life that has known brokenness, pain, and wandering, but is now being beautifully renewed by me. There is something wondrous here. My child, the exact places where you were once weak will show my strength to the world. When others see you walk through trials without being crushed, finding instead a deeper steadiness, they will wonder. Not because you are trying to impress them, but because they recognize something inside you that does not come from you. My power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. That difference becomes a quiet door opening in their hearts. They might never speak the questions aloud, but the thoughts will start to form. What has kept you standing? What strength lifted you up? How can you stay so peaceful in the middle of a storm? You see, this is not about you trying to convince anyone. It comes from you living honestly in what I have done inside you. When you live honestly, the truth speaks for itself. You will know the truth, and that truth will set you free. John 8:32. And when you are free, your freedom becomes an invitation to others. I do not call you to debate or argue with complex logic. I call you to live fully and authentically in my light. When you do this, you will not have to struggle to share hope. Hope will naturally flow from your life, just like the Samaritan woman. When she met me, she had no perfect sermon, only saying, "Come see a man who told me everything I ever did." John 4:29. It was her simple honesty that drew an entire town close. My child, what I am doing in your heart is not meant to be kept secret. It is like a running current. If you try to hold it back, you will feel burdened, but let it flow, and you will feel light. You are no longer living just for yourself. You are becoming a channel of new life. Whoever believes in me, rivers of living water will flow from their heart. John 7:38. That water is quiet, but it is enough to refresh weary souls. Do not worry about what to say or do to change people. Leave that work to me. You simply live out the truth you have received and walk in the light I put within you. As you do this, your daily life will become a living invitation, not forced or showy, but quietly compelling. You might not see results right away, but what you carry will touch others in ways you cannot imagine. A simple, peaceful look from you might be the answer to someone's silent anxiety. A gentle word you speak can become a soft resting place for a soul that is breaking. The steady strength within you will prove to others that hope is real. One by one, they will begin to draw near, not because you are perfect, but because they recognize something authentic inside you. And that reality is me. You do not need to copy anyone else to share your faith. Just be who you truly are, the person I am transforming. Walk that path, my beloved, without any show, without anxiety, simply by living. In that life, you will see me using your unique story, a life that once wandered, but is now being led to open doors of hope for many others. Beloved child, do not let your heart be swept away by the frantic pace of this world. My work inside your heart doesn't need a loud show to prove it's real. Real change starts quietly, like a gentle breeze. You only notice when you finally slow down and listen. The wind blows where it wants. You hear its sound, but you can't tell where it comes from or where it goes. John chapter 3, verse 8. You might not see every movement clearly, but that doesn't mean I am not working. In every glance, every quiet thought you hold back, and every response you choose, I am molding your heart. Step by step, a moment is coming, not scheduled by you, but perfectly timed by me. What was once hidden will finally come to light, and someone will reach out to you. A soul will open, and you'll realize the light inside you isn't a secret anymore. It has become an open door for others. You don't need to struggle to prove anything. Just live honestly. My light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never defeat it. John chapter 1, verse 5. That light will shine right through you, my child. You aren't some nameless copy of someone else. You're a unique window designed so the light of heaven can shine through you in a way nobody else can duplicate. You might feel like you're not bright enough, strong enough, or good enough, but I don't measure your light by human standards. Just be transparent. Keep a heart that doesn't hide, pretend, or twist the truth, but simply reflects my grace. And that, my beloved, is already happening. Every single day you walk in grace. Every time you choose forgiveness over holding on to a grudge, and love instead of judgment, you clear a path, not with loud speeches, but with how you live. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. You lead with kindness, not brute force. Your victories aren't loud. They're won through the quiet strength I gave you. Right now, right where you are standing, a choice lies ahead. One road is familiar and easy. It demands nothing, letting you drift with the crowd and live just to get by. But the other road, narrow and less traveled, leads to a deep freedom you've never felt before. Walk through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the road is easy that leads to destruction. But the gate is small and the road is narrow that leads to life. Matthew chapter 7 verses 13 and 14. This path isn't easy, but it is real. I will never force you. I only invite you. Choose this light not just for yourself, but for those still stumbling in the dark, searching desperately for a way out. You can't see how far your influence reaches, but every brave step you take today might answer someone else's prayer. Right now, someone is waiting to see the truth you live out. My beloved, do you see how the things you once chased so hard, like approval, those fleeting comforts and temporary promises, have only left you quietly exhausted? I don't blame you. I know how strong those things pull, but that very tiredness is waking you up inside. It is stirring a new longing for a life driven by trust, not constant pressure. Come to me, all who are tired and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. That rest is a doorway to a new rhythm. My rhythm. Learn how to walk in it, child. It isn't loud or rushed, and it's free from the anxious noise around you. It starts with quiet listening, where my gentle voice can only be heard when you're willing to stop and rest. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. Walk this way, guided by hope, not driven by fear, moved by my spirit, not pushed by the world. This flow is completely different from the world. It bears the mark of the one who loved you before you even knew yourself. Early on, this pacing might feel strange. It asks you to let go of demanding your own way, wanting instant results, and rushing ahead. But child, real faith cannot be rushed. It grows in quiet moments, on days when nothing seems to happen. The righteous will live by faith. Romans chapter 1, verse 17. Not through speed, but through depth. I'm never in a rush, because deep roots will hold you steady when the storms hit. And that is exactly what I'm building inside you right now. I want you to do more than just believe. I want you to live it. Following me won't make you lose who you are. In fact, you'll finally find the real you. The person buried under everyone else's expectations and all that anxiety. I am gently peeling away the masks you wore just to be accepted and seen. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. In my presence, you never have to struggle to feel worthy. Just show up, be present, and speak honestly. I will handle the rest. Let me guide you step by step. Do not worry if you cannot see the whole road yet. I do not ask you to understand. I only ask you to trust. The Lord will guide you continually, satisfying your soul. Isaiah 58:11. I am shifting your focus so you stop chasing temporary things and stay anchored in what truly lasts. Every single step you take toward me, no matter how tiny, is a step I have already paved for you. My child, this invitation is not a forced command. It is a door left wide open. You can always return. Every time you return, you will find me right here, unchanged, never distant. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. Jeremiah 31:3. Nothing you do can ever stop my love. No path you wander can make me stop waiting for you. So, my beloved, slow down, take a deep breath. Let go of what you do not need and learn my rhythm. It is a rhythm of peace, of trust, and a life lived in pure love. I am right here, always ready to guide you into real life. No more constant striving, just rest and daily spiritual growth. Child, when you feel empty, I do not look at you with disappointment, but with the gentle eyes of someone who sees the hidden potential in your quiet spaces. What you think is empty, I see as a vessel waiting to be filled. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Matthew 5, verse 3. When you finally realize you cannot do it alone, you stand where my grace can pour out most freely. When you are weak, I never ask you to pretend to be strong. Just open your hands. My power is made perfect in your weakness. 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9. I did not come just to fix the outside situations of your daily life. I came to change your heart, where decisions are made, where relationships grow, and where faith becomes a real living rhythm. I do not just want you to avoid bad things. but to step fully into what is good. A life no longer split by doubt and worry, but free to walk in the light. You will know the truth. John 8:32. That freedom is not about doing whatever you want, but having the grace to live out the beautiful nature I gave you. So my dear child, choose me not just in one big moment, but every single day. Not because you are afraid of anything, but because you know this is the most beautiful path. This choice happens daily, through small steps and quiet decisions. And if you hesitate sometimes, I am right here. If you fall silent, I am still whispering. If you get lost, I am still watching over you. I will never leave you or abandon you. Hebrews 13 verse 5. My invitation never changes because of your mistakes. Look back and see how everything I have done in your life carries the seal of my unchanging love. When you fell, I stayed. When you doubted, I never closed my heart to you. When you wandered away, I did not put out your spark. I protected it, kept it alive, and waited for you to return and let it shine brighter than ever. A bruised reed he will not break, and a dim smoldering wick he will not blow out. Isaiah 42 verse 3. I would never abandon you. I know exactly what your heart longs for. You do not want cheap comfort, but a life of deep meaning and real connection with me. You need a place where your soul finally rests. No more struggling. A life of purpose, not pressure. You want to love people not because you feel empty, but from a well that never runs dry. And my child, that is exactly where I am taking you. Now I ask one simple thing with a soft whisper. Are you willing? Willing to take the next step, even when the path ahead is dark? Are you willing to love deeply after getting hurt? Can you trust me fully, even with unanswered questions? The one who started a good work in you will finish it. Philippians 1 verse 6. What I started in you, I will finish, my child. Those subtle stirrings you feel deep inside, the shifts in your relationships, and the dreams that carry weight are not signs of confusion anymore. They are my guidance. Nothing is an accident when you place your life in my hands. Things you once called coincidence, I am opening your eyes to see the beautiful path I have already designed for you. The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord. Psalm 37 verse 23. With every step of obedience, you make a choice. Know that I am protecting you. I am lighting up your path. I did not call you to act and then stay the same. I called you to become the very person I designed you to be from the start. Stop shrinking your soul just to squeeze into old patterns. Your true self, refined and strong, tested by fire and purified through your tears, is rising now. I rejoice in you. You are the light of the world. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. You did not create this light. I placed it deep within you, and now it is shining out. I do not alter your past, but I promise you a blessed future, a future where even your deepest scars testify to my grace. Your inner light cannot be hidden anymore. It is spreading to places you never imagined. It is quiet, yet impossible to ignore. It moves through the dark places, not to cause destruction, but to reveal truth and give life. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. John chapter 1, verse 5. My child, your inner light has never gone out. You might have felt small, silent, and forgotten, but your flame kept burning even in the quiet hours. Now it is starting to rise. You feel it in your heart, the sudden quiet urges, and the moments of deep clarity in your thoughts. This is not confusion. It is real life moving forward. Be dressed and ready for service, keeping your lamps burning. Luke chapter 12, verse 35. The moment for your light to shine has finally arrived. Wherever you walk, you do not just show up physically, but with a soul that is fully alive. Others might not know how to explain what they sense, but they will notice something is different. A calm look in the middle of chaos, a voice that brings comfort, a presence that softens the room. This does not come from your own exhausting efforts. It is my Spirit working through you. Out of your heart will flow rivers of living water. John chapter 7, verse 38. It needs no showy display. It simply flows. My child, you are no longer the person the darkness used to know. What once defined you, fear, doubt, and weakness no longer hold power over you. You have left your old identity behind, not by worldly standards of success, but because I have changed you from the inside out. You did not rise from a place of easy victory, but from the ashes of what was once shattered. And from that broken place my glory shines even brighter. Arise, shine, for your light has come. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. I am calling you to stand up not just as a survivor of hard times, but as a living witness. You do not need to be flawless. You only need to be authentic, because truth holds real power. Your changed life will speak louder than any sermon. Stop trying to become the light when you already carry it. My beloved, step forward today with fresh courage. Do not pull back. Do not question what I am building inside you. That flame was never meant to be hidden. It is there to shine. As you walk in that truth, you will see that you are not the only one being guided. Through you, so many others will find their way home. I am right beside you, and your light proves that I am living and active in your soul. Dearest one, from the second I breathed life into you, I never planned for you to be a quiet echo in a loud crowd. I gave you a unique voice, not just to make noise, but to express the deepest parts of your heart. Even when you felt that voice was too small, fragile, and drowned out by the noise, I heard it perfectly. I am not far away, but a father right beside you. The Lord is near to everyone who calls on him in truth. Psalm 145, verse 18. Every time you whisper in actual words or in silent thoughts, I hear you. Never discount those quiet seconds when you point your heart toward me. It is in that perfect stillness that we touch eternity. When you share what is inside, not seeking approval from others, but simply to stay close to me, you are walking in obedience without even knowing it. Real obedience does not start with massive actions. It begins when you quiet down. Listen and trust that I hear you. Be still before the Lord. Psalm 37, verse 7. In that quiet place you do not lose your voice. You find it again. Do you realize, my child, that out of all the prayers spoken today, yours is never drowned out? I do not judge by the crowd. I listen directly to your heart. Your prayers carry a sound that nobody else can duplicate. You are like a string that only makes a sound when it is touched the right way. Your soul resonates when you are completely honest with your feelings. People look at outer appearances, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. I do not look for perfection, I look for truth. Sometimes words fail you completely. There is only a heavy sigh, a deep ache, or a quiet silence. But child, I still hear. I hear your groans. Psalm 102, verse 20. That quietness is not silence. It is the very language of your soul. Deep in that hidden place I touch you, nurture you, and help you grow. True spiritual growth does not start with what others see, but with what I see deep inside your heart. Never fear that you are too small or unnoticed. I do not look at you through the broken standards of this world. You do not have to stand out for me to hear you. I listen because you are mine. I have called you by name. You are mine, says Isaiah 43:1. Your worth is not built on how many people know your name. It comes from being fully known by me. When you finally live, knowing you are seen, deeply understood, and loved, you will discover a beautiful truth. Obedience will no longer be a burden. It becomes a natural, loving response. You no longer strive to achieve it. You simply desire to rest in it. If you love me, keep my commandments, from John 14:15. Do it not out of duty, but because you have met real love. Keep talking to me. Do not hold back, and do not wait for your prayers to sound perfect. Just come to me as you are, messy, unfinished, and completely honest, because that is where I truly meet you. From that moment, I will draw you into a deeper relationship, built not on empty words, but on my presence. Understand this clearly, beloved. The obedience I offer does not start with the fear of failing. It begins with love, knowing you are never walking alone, but are gently led. When you realize someone is listening, watching, and walking beside you, the heavy pressure melts away. Your heart simply opens up in complete trust. Think of young Samuel. in the quiet temple night. He did not recognize my voice at first, but once he did, he answered, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening in." 1 Samuel 3:10. Once you realize that you are truly being heard, you can finally learn how to answer. That is where a beautiful, life-giving obedience begins. I rarely ask you to do things that capture the attention of the world. Usually, I just wait for something very simple for you to remember me in the middle of your ordinary day. In the rush of work, the weight of family duties, or in a quiet room where nobody else is looking, even a single whisper restores our connection. Pray without ceasing, says 1 Thessalonians 5:17. You do not need long prayers. Just keep turning your heart toward me. I hear every single moment, child, without ever missing a beat, and I see the things nobody else can see. I see you keeping your heart pure in a world full of schemes. I know when you walk away from wrong, even when no one is watching. I notice when you choose love over getting even, when you choose quiet over arguments, and what is right over what is easy. I see a beautiful faith growing inside you. He who is faithful in little is faithful in much. Luke 16:10. True surrender does not start with massive acts, but with quiet choices known only to us. Beloved, following me does not steal your identity. It never turns you into a dull, hollow shadow of who you were meant to be. Instead, it brings complete clarity to your life, purpose, your true identity, and your very existence. When you walk closely with me, you do not lose yourself. I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly. John 10:10. My life does not lock you down. It sets you free. And when you finally believe that I hear you, everything changes. You will not follow me out of cold duty anymore. No more fear and no more trying to prove your worth. You will follow me because you love and trust me. You will know that every single step you take is held safely in my care. If you love me, keep my commandments. John 14:15. It is not a burden, but a response of love. So, my beloved, keep listening. You do not have to be perfect, and you do not need to figure everything out. Just open up your heart and whisper like Samuel did. I am listening. From that moment, I will guide you step by step. No rushing, no pressure, but steadily, deeply, and filled with abundant life. Beloved, write this truth deep on your heart. You are not anonymous. You are not just a passing shadow fading away in the rush of time. You are known deeply, personally, and irreplaceably. See, I have written your name on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49:16. You can never be forgotten or lost in the crowd. Your voice, even if it feels quiet to you, holds a value only I can see. It reflects the soul I shaped with gentle care. When you speak to me, your words are not just noise that disappears. It is a living bond, a sign that you still believe, still hope, and still turn to me, my child. That alone brings me joy. The Lord hears the prayers of the righteous. Psalm 34, verse 15. I do not need many words from you, nor do I require perfect, polished speech. I only want you to be real. Every word rising from your heart holds a value that heaven never ignores. Think of Hannah standing in the temple with a shattered heart, praying so deeply that no sound escaped, only her lips moving in silent pain. Others looked and did not understand, they even judged her. But I knew her heart. I listened, and from that silent cry, I gave her Samuel, a man chosen to change a whole generation. 1 Samuel 1 verse 20. Do you see, big things do not always start with a roar. Often they begin with a whisper, shared only between us. Likewise, your hidden prayers, unseen and unpraised by others, are never wasted. They do not simply fade away. I hold on to them. I tend to them, using them to build things far beyond your current imagination. Before they call, I will answer. While they still speak, I will hear. Isaiah 65, verse 24. I do not just listen, I act, but my answers do not always look like you expect. They come in ways that bring real, abundant life, my beloved. When you finally realize that I am truly listening, it is in that exact moment that your own ears open to hear me. True obedience does not come from fear, but from trusting that my voice is a safe haven, Once you believe I will never harm you, you will stop resisting my lead. Then, every small nudge and gentle whisper will start to sound much clearer. Not because you have all the answers, but because you know the one calling you is faithful. This is our walk. My child, I speak and you listen. You speak and I answer. Through this bond, your soul grows deeper and more alive. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. John 10 verse 27. This is not some distant religion, but a living connection where you are never truly alone. Do not hold back. Do not wait for perfect words. Come to me exactly as you are with your messy thoughts, unanswered questions, and unspoken pain. I do not look for perfection in your prayers. I am looking for your heart. Keep speaking, my beloved. Keep praying and trusting. Every little word you offer is deeply precious to me. And through those very prayers, I am building something far grander than you can see. A life deeply anchored in me, steady, alive, and full of purpose. Beloved, keep keeping your heart tender like this. A quiet faith that does not need to show off, but runs deep and steady, like water flowing under the earth. I see the light in your daily choices even when nobody else is watching you. Just like morning dew that falls silently, yet revives the whole field. The small choices you protect make your soul fertile soil. He who is faithful in little is faithful also in much. Luke 16 verse 10. Do not rush, my child. What is born of love is never lost. It roots deep, grows quietly, and at the perfect moment will lift you higher than you ever dreamed. In those slow, steady steps, you will learn to see a truth that this world constantly overlooks. The simplest things hold the power to shape your destiny. When no one is looking, you still choose what is right. When words could hurt you, choose silence. When there is absolutely no applause, you still do good. All of these choices are echoing through my kingdom. Quiet, yet incredibly powerful. Your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Matthew chapter 6 verse 4. Nothing done in secret is ever lost to me. I see you in the most ordinary moments of life, when you wake up unsure of how your day will go, when you resist temptation with no one looking, when you do good without any recognition. The world calls these things small, but to me, they are the very foundation. You are building a deeply rooted life, not through flash, but through perseverance. The righteous are like a tree planted beside streams of water, whose leaves never wither. Psalm 1 verse 3. Your roots are going deep, and because of that you will stand strong when the storms blow. I do not demand that you do something heroic every single day. I simply invite you to choose what is right day after day, until it becomes the natural beat of your heart. Obedience is not a single moment. It is a way of life, and you are living it. Every time you show patience to someone who is difficult, every time you forgive even while hurting, every time you reject the wrong choice when it would have been easy, you preach a silent sermon without words. Do not let evil defeat you, but conquer evil with good. Romans 12:21. That is where real strength lies. Never fear the quiet, repetitive days. It is in those ordinary moments that your soul is being refined. Spiritual maturity does not need a grand stage. It simply walks in faith day by day. Every single choice you make is a stone laid down. Slowly, a path begins to emerge. Not a simple road, but one leading to lasting peace, strength, and a proven faith. We even find joy in our hardships, knowing that suffering builds endurance, and this hopeful endurance will never let us down. Romans 5:3-5. Remember, even my own son Jesus spent years unnoticed working in a simple carpentry shop in Nazareth, doing ordinary tasks day after day. He did not perform miracles every single day, but he always walked in my perfect will. That quiet faithfulness reshaped history. John 8:29 reminds us, I always do what pleases him. You are walking that same path. So my child, do not look down on ordinary days. A deep, powerful life is built on steady steps, not temporary moments of glory. When you choose righteousness today and repeat it tomorrow, you weave an unbreakable spiritual armor. This is the armor of real living faith. Put on the full armor of God, as Ephesians 6:11 says, not to show off, but to stand firm. I remember your quiet internal struggles, the times you could have made excuses but chose not to, when you could have ignored the wrong but stood up to face it. You chose honesty. You chose the light. Rest assured, whoever is faithful in the little things will eventually be trusted with so much more. Step by step, I am preparing you not to be perfect, but to be completely unshakable. You were faithful with a few things. I will trust you with much more. Matthew 25:21. My beloved, when hard winds blow, you will stand strong. When success comes, you will not lose your humility. Even when darkness surrounds you, you will always see the light I have planted deep within your heart. Keep walking this path at a steady pace. Know for certain that I am beside you in every minor decision. Through these small moments, I am building something far grander than you can imagine. My beloved, keep walking in quiet devotion. Keep going even when nobody understands or notices. The most beautiful gift you give me is not your achievements, but a heart that consistently chooses what is right. Society only cares about what you achieve, but I look at the quiet choices you make when you are completely alone. Whoever is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much. Luke 16:10. Your tiny steps are the building blocks I am using to construct a beautiful future. I am never in a rush, and you do not need to hurry. Walk through each day with a pure heart, a calm mind, and your eyes fixed on me. Watch how every small choice becomes a stream that feeds a river of impact in my perfect timing. My beloved child. What starts in quiet faithfulness always ends in glory. Stop striving to force your own influence. You only need to follow my voice because I am the one who turns simple obedience into miracles. Whoever is faithful in a small matter will be put in charge of much. Matthew 25:21. As you settle into this divine rhythm, this rhythm of honest and humble choices, I will guide you deeper to a place where you will face questions that have no immediate answers. Perhaps you have already felt this shift while staying faithful in the quiet moments. Your heart starts to echo with deep questions, not out of rebellion, but from a longing to know me intimately. You look up in silence, carrying unspoken wonders. Why did this happen? Why is there no clear way forward? Lord, where are you, beloved? Never fear these questions. Do not think they show weakness. I am never bothered by a seeking soul. Instead, I grieve only when a soul completely stops searching. Ask and it will be given. Seek and you will find. Matthew 7:7. Your questions never drive me away. They draw you closer to my heart. It is in those quiet, wordless moments that I perform my deepest work. I am not silent to abandon you, but to deepen your soul, not to exhaust you, but to anchor you more firmly. You will be like a tree planted by the water, sending its roots deep. Jeremiah 17:8. Real faith never grows where life is easy. It is nurtured in the soil of difficult questions and matured under the gentle light of patience. Do you see now? You are not lost just because things are unclear. I am simply leading you into deeper waters. The dark seasons are not the end. They are the holy spaces where I teach you to walk by faith, not by sight. For we walk by faith, not by sight, as 2 Corinthians 5:7 tells us. It is when you keep moving forward without clarity that your faith truly comes alive. My beloved, some questions you carry simply will not be answered right away, not because I am avoiding you, but because if I answered too early, you would only grasp them in your mind without ever touching your deepest soul. Some truths must be lived through, not merely explained. Just like a tree has to endure winter, so its roots can run deep before it blooms in due time. Your faith must also weather quiet seasons to learn to stand firm. The righteous shall live by faith. Romans chapter 1, verse 17. Not by quick answers, but through a steadfast connection with me. I see your inner tension. I know those moments when you do not understand why good paths bring pain or why wrong ways seem to win. You question, you search, you wrestle. But child, what I am doing is more than just guiding you to answers. I am shaping a new heart within you right now. What I am writing into your life is no scattered fragment. It is a grand story, and every chapter has its purpose. Skip the dark chapters and you will miss the light at the end. All things work together for good for those who love God. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. Even the things you cannot understand right now. Remember Job. He did nothing wrong, yet he lost everything. People looked at him and made their own assumptions, but they could not see what I was building deep within him. Job questioned. He cried out, wrestling with his pain, and I did not answer him with a detailed blueprint of events. I gave him myself. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. Job chapter 42, verse 5. Do you see, my child? Sometimes I withhold answers because I am the very answer you need. I know there are hurts that words simply cannot heal. Long silences may leave you weary. But beloved, I never stop working in those quiet times. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Psalm 34, verse 18. Even when you cannot feel me, I am right there. Keep walking with me, and this uncertainty will become a bridge, leading you to a deep faith that relies not on circumstances, but on me. Real faith does not run from hard questions. It faces what it cannot understand and still chooses to trust. In that space between doubt and devotion where you say, I do not understand yet, I still believe your soul reaches depth the mind cannot grasp. There your soul learns to rest not in proof, but in my presence. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. And you are never alone on this journey. When you do not know how to pray, my Spirit lives inside you. The Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Romans chapter 8, verse 26. You are not alone in those sighs. I understand, I listen, and I walk with you. Beloved, stay close to me. Do not run away just because you do not have the answers yet. For sometimes you do not need an explanation. You just need a presence that is enough. In that embrace, you will be held, healed, and guided step by step, realizing at last that I have always been right there, in the middle of your questions. My child, there are times when I stay silent, not because I am far away, but because I am teaching you something deeper than understanding to walk by faith, not by sight. I do not just go ahead of you holding a map for you to follow. I walk right beside you as a father holding your hand step by step. You might not know where the road leads, but you know me, and that is enough. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. When you trust in me, you no longer need to figure out everything. Let your questions sit within you, but do not allow them to turn into fear. They are not meant to confuse you, but to remind you that there are deep parts of me that only open up when you stop searching for answers and learn to be still. I do not turn away from your questions. I teach you to carry them in peace. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Psalm 37, verse 7. It is in that quiet space you will see that not everything requires an explanation. Some things must simply be lived out with me. The clarity you crave rarely arrives like a sudden flash. It breaks like the dawn, slowly, gently, bit by bit. I do not demand that you understand everything right now. If you grasp everything too quickly, your heart might harden. I cherish a soul that knows how to wait, trusting me even without seeing. As Job once declared, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Job chapter 13, verse 15. That kind of faith is not built on circumstances, but on me. And in time, you will see it clearly. The light I offer is not meant to wipe out every question, but to reveal my love right inside them. The burdens that once crushed you might not vanish instantly, but they will lose their power to make you afraid. They will serve as proof that you have grown deeper, not in mere knowledge, but in a true relationship with me. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. When you live in union with me, you do not need all the answers. You only need me. My child, as you learn to live with what is still unclear, your heart will grow softer and gentler. You'll no longer rush to judge, nor demand that everything has to be defined. You will love more deeply now, because those quiet spaces of uncertainty taught you how to trust. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. Your softness is not weakness. It's the true strength of a soul that has learned to rely on me. As you walk in this quiet, steady simplicity, I am giving you a new gift, discernment. Not so you can control everything, but so you can live with true wisdom. You will know when to step forward, when to pause, and when to simply rest under the shelter of my wings. Hear what the Spirit is saying to you. Revelation chapter 2, verse 7. You won't be dragged down by the noise anymore, but led by my peace. So, beloved, do not fear the silence. Do not fear what you don't understand yet. I am right there with you. Take my hand and let's keep walking. You'll discover that you don't actually need a massive light to show you the entire path ahead. Only my presence, which is more than enough for every single step. When you hold questions with no immediate answers, you aren't weak. Instead, you're opening up your heart to a beautiful, profound gift, the true ability to discern. This gift doesn't come from sharp intellect or life experience. It's formed in absolute stillness. It is refined during days when you don't understand yet choose to stay. Let the wise listen and grow. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5. Real understanding doesn't come from noise, but from listening. I don't give you discernment like a map with every turn marked out. I give it like the dawn, gentle and slow enough to keep you from stumbling, but not so bright that you rely entirely on seeing the whole path ahead. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. Psalm 119, verse 105. That light only shows the next step. True discernment isn't just a quick reaction to everything around you, nor is it an empty silence. It's a deep inner peace when everything else is shaking. It is the power to ignore the noise and never fear the quiet. I'm teaching you this not to make you clever by worldly standards, but so you can walk by the Spirit. Those led by God's Spirit are children of God. Romans chapter 8, verse 14. Sometimes you ask me, what should I do? And I don't give you an answer right away. Not because I've left you, but because I want you to pause and listen. Look at your own heart. What is driving you? Is it real faith or just a restless urge to escape this waiting? My child, true discernment doesn't come from passing emotions. It's built in a mind trained in prayer. Test everything. Hold fast to what is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. It's a slow process, not an instant reflex. Just like a farmer cannot harvest right after sowing. You won't immediately understand what I'm doing, but if you stay patient, you'll see that truth doesn't show up in a loud argument, but in a gentle conviction. When that light finally breaks, you won't have to struggle to believe. You will just know, and what you know will bring absolute peace. God's peace will guard your heart and mind. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. You'll slowly realize that the deepest moments of discernment don't happen when you feel strong. They come when you are being tested, when the line between what is merely good and what is truly right gets incredibly thin, when the easy path calls out, but the right path asks you to wait. That's when I'm working most clearly. I'm not just showing the way, I'm showing you myself. Once you recognize me, you'll know exactly where to go. Some things look perfectly fine, but they don't actually bring life. There are paths that look completely safe, yet slowly drag you away from my presence. That's why I give you this spiritual sensitivity, not to judge others, but to keep your own heart aligned with me. Guard your heart above everything else because it is the very source of your life. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Beloved, discernment doesn't lift you above others. It actually makes you humble. You start to see that it isn't your own wisdom keeping you upright, but my hand. When you lean on me, you'll walk with a quiet certainty, not loud or proud, but steady and loved. When people misunderstand you and voices rise against your obedience, do not rush to defend yourself. See it as a chance for me to grow a deeper, stronger discernment inside you. Not all criticism is wrong, and staying silent is not a weakness. In those moments of friction, one thing will shine through clearly: the true motive of your heart. Are you living to please me or just chasing human approval? People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. I see everything and I overlook nothing. If there is something inside you that needs correcting, I won't shame you. I will gently shape you. If something in you needs strengthening, I'll make it firm through these exact trials. So don't fear being misunderstood. Don't rush to defend yourself. Be still before the Lord. Psalm 37, verse 7. True discernment won't make you cold or distant. It actually makes you more compassionate, because you begin to see clearly what is true, what to let go of, and what to forgive. And when you should stay silent, child, don't think clear vision is only for a chosen few. I want all my children to walk in the light of clarity. But I don't give this gift to help you control things. I offer it as an invitation. Slow down, look deeper. Live beyond your passing feelings. This is the way. Walk in it. Isaiah 30, verse 21. My voice isn't always loud, but it's always clear to anyone willing to listen. Beloved, the deep understanding I place inside you isn't a reward for quick thinking, but a gift for the soul that knows how to slow down, listen, and learn even from mistakes. I don't expect you to always see the whole path ahead. I only ask that you stay open enough to know when to pause, when to wait, and when to take my hand and keep moving. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Psalm 37, verse 7. It's in that very quietness that you start to see what human eyes can never notice. Sometimes I don't lead you around the valley, but straight through it. Not to drain you, but to build a deep strength that others can't see. Because real strength isn't built on flat ground, but on steep trails where you keep climbing even when your heart is trembling. When you go through those dark places, don't be afraid. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I'll fear no danger, for you are with me. Psalm 23, verse 4. See, my promise isn't that there will be no darkness, but that I'll be right there with you. You often want me to take away the pain, the struggles that leave you confused. But child, I love you way too much to just make you comfortable. If I always guided you around the hard paths, your faith would never grow roots. Without trials, you'd never know how safely you are held. Hardship produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character brings hope. Romans chapter 5. Your struggle is never in vain. I'm building you from the inside out. Don't mistake hard times for my rejection. Not every challenge is a punishment. Usually, it's an invitation to depend on me more. A deep trust no longer based on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and don't depend on your own smarts. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. When you stop clinging to your own plans, you start clinging to me, and that's where true faith comes alive. My beloved, my voice is clearest in those quiet valleys. Never drowned out by noise, never diluted by easy shortcuts. I whisper directly to your heart, not for your eyes to hear, but for your soul to feel through peace. God's peace will guard your heart and mind. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7. When you keep walking with that inner peace, you're on the right path, even if you can't see the finish line. Remember, child, you aren't alone. I'm not just standing at the end of the road waiting for you to catch up. I walk right beside you through every single step. When you're exhausted, I sustain you. When you slip, I catch you. When you can't see the light, I become your light. I'll never leave you or abandon you. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. My presence won't always stop the storm, but it keeps you safe inside it. My beloved, don't panic when you feel empty. I allow those empty spaces not to rob you, but to clear a spot for my eternal blessings to pour in. Once you stop relying on yourself, you'll start trusting me. When you let go of your tight plans, you open up to my greater path. My grace is all you need. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. In your moments of weakness, my power has no limits. I would never lead you into a valley just to abandon you. I guide you through it because I know what's waiting on the other side. Not just better days, but a stronger, brand new you. He who began a good work in you will complete it. Philippians chapter 1 verse 6. What I'm doing goes far beyond outward fixes. I'm rebuilding your inner soul to be deep, steady, and true. The trust I'm teaching you doesn't wait for perfect clarity. It's having the courage to walk when you only have enough light for your next step. Your word is a lamp for my feet. Psalm 119, verse 105. You don't need to see the entire road. Just keep your eyes on me. When you let me lead, I'll keep you from stumbling. Not by flattening every road, but by making your steps firm. Don't fear the moments when you grow tired. When your strength fades, look up. I will place markers along your path. Maybe a gentle reminder, a wave of quiet peace, or a friend arriving at just the right moment. They aren't here to walk your path for you, but to show you that you aren't alone. Two are better than one. If one falls, the other can help them up. That is Ecclesiastes 4:9. And one day, you will be that guide for others, a witness who walked through the dark valley and knows the way back. My child, stay faithful when you think it is over. I am preparing a new beginning. Look, I am doing a new thing, just like Isaiah 43:19 says. As I guide you, I am changing more than your situation. I am renewing you. When you step out of this, your faith won't depend on things being easy. Instead, it will be anchored in me, the unchanging God. Soon you will understand why I did not choose quick shortcuts for your journey. The longer path builds a deep strength that no quick fix could ever give you. Let perseverance finish its work so you can grow strong and complete, as James 1 verse 4 promises. Then you will see why obedience is true life. Living from that refined place, your quiet influence will start to flow naturally. Not through loud noise or forced power, but through a heart that has been tested by fire, a soul that knows patience and silent love. Let your light shine before others, as Matthew 5:16 says. You do not have to fight for influence. Your daily faithfulness will invite others in. Just keep walking. My beloved, I am right here in the quiet emptiness, walking with you through every single step. What I am building inside your heart will bloom when the time is right, renewing you and guiding so many others back to me. My beloved, you do not have to perform dazzling feats to touch this world. I do not measure your life by scale, but by depth. A kind look at the perfect moment, a gentle word spoken in love, a simple act of warmth in a cold world. These small acts open doors you may never see. A gentle answer turns away wrath, as Proverbs 15:1 reminds us. Forget the crowds, reach just one soul, and let me do the rest. I love watching you live out the truth quietly, without needing the applause of men. Your quiet, steady faith carries a weight far beyond human understanding. It reaches the deep places that logic cannot touch. People might forget your words, but they will always remember how you lived. Show me your faith through your actions, as James 2:18 says. A life genuinely lived is a sermon that needs no stage. Remember the story I kept safe for you. An unnamed woman who poured out her most precious perfume at the feet of Jesus. Others saw waste, but I saw deep love. That is why her story is still told across generations today. Not because she wanted attention, but because she surrendered her whole heart to me. She did a beautiful thing for me. What she did will be told as recorded in Mark 14:69. Do you see real impact? It does not come from your title, but from your devotion. The seeds you sow today won't sprout overnight. They grow silently in the hearts I have already prepared. One encouraging word at the right moment can save a soul from despair. Choosing to forgive can shatter a wall of bitterness that has stood between you for years. Being kind to someone who hurt you is living proof that divine grace is real. Do not let evil conquer you, but defeat evil by doing good, as Romans 12:21 says. These small acts are massive to me. Stop trying to control the outcome. Do not force others to change. Just do your part faithfully. Walk in the light, live in truth, and act in love. I will handle the rest. Neither the planter nor the waterer matters, but only God who causes everything to grow. That is 1 Corinthians 3:7. Your job is to sow, My job is to grow. Beloved, keep going without noise or hurry. When you bring a pure heart into a room, the whole atmosphere starts to shift. Not because you force yourself on others, but because your presence carries a different quality. The quality of real life. You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Matthew 5:13 and 14. Salt does not speak yet. It changes flavor. Light does not argue. It just drives out darkness. Never underestimate a smile, a gentle touch, or a sincere word. I use and I multiply them. One day you will look back and realize those tiny acts of faith became the very path that brought so many broken souls back home. You stayed faithful, I handled the rest. My child, never doubt the value of a life fully lived in me. Your quiet obedience, though hidden from the world, releases a sweet fragrance that heaven honors. We are Christ's aroma to God. 2 Corinthians 2:15. People will walk into the room you are in and feel a deep peace they simply cannot explain. It is not because you are highly capable, but because my presence is in you. That is true influence born of union, not of striving. Abide in me. Apart from me, you can do nothing. John 15:45. You do not need to struggle to be useful. I look for a genuine heart. I notice when you quietly pray for others in secret. I see the words you hold back just to keep the peace. I hear every gentle word you speak to lift up a tired soul. Even when no one notices, I count each time you choose silence out of love. I see the hurts you carry instead of fighting back. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are the peacemakers, Matthew 5:5. This influence is born from your unseen sacrifices, yet it is powerful enough to change hearts, far more precious than any loud show of greatness. My child, true influence does not show itself right away. It is like a hidden, steady underground stream that eventually makes the whole field bloom. Those who sow in tears will harvest with songs of joy. Psalm 126, verse 5. Every step of obedience makes your inner light clearer. Your family, friends, and even strangers will be touched. You do not need to see the results to know that I am working. Avoid trying to shine by human standards. Keep your heart pure and your intentions sincere. Leave the rest to me. I give the growth. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 7. Real influence does not come from fame, but from a life filled with love and truth. When you rest deep in me, your light will shine without any struggle. So my child, keep living honestly, staying close to me in simple, quiet obedience. I see and treasure your quiet, steady life. I will use it to pave a way for others to find peace. Do not call your current hardships a failure. They are the very soil I use to make my grace shine. No longer a light that only glows when things are calm, but a flame that survives fierce winds. As you grow close to me, you will see true peace does not come from comfortable circumstances, but from my presence in the storm. I give you peace, not like the world gives. John 14:27. This peace is not fragile because it never depends on your circumstances. Sometimes I do not calm the waves because I am teaching you to rest right in them, just as Jesus slept through the storm. It was not that the storm was fake, but that the Father's presence was far more real. And so it is with you. You are not meant to run from the storm, but to stay anchored in me. Peace be still, Mark. Chapter 4, verse 39. Those words do more than calm the sea. They quiet your heart. When you face dry seasons, do not assume that I have walked away. In those exact moments when you feel empty, I am watering the deep roots of your faith with an unseen stream. You will be like a tree planted near water, showing no fear when the heat comes. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 8. Real spiritual growth does not happen during easy times, but when you stay standing, even when you feel unsupported. I do not always clear the path, because I want to walk over every single stone with you. With every step, even if you cannot feel it clearly, I am still holding you up, still breathing fresh life into the deepest parts of your soul. When the light finally returns, you will look back and realize that in the very place you felt you were breaking, I was actually rebuilding you. He heals the brokenhearted, Psalm 147, verse 3. Not by stopping the breaks, but by turning those broken pieces into the very spot where I meet you. Think of the Apostle Paul. He begged me to take away the thing that caused him pain. Yet I did not because I was indifferent, but because I knew my grace was all he needed. He declared, "When I am weak, then I am strong." 2 Corinthians 12, verses 9 and 10. Do you see? True maturity is not found in easy situations, but in continuing to love, trust, and obey, even when your heart feels torn apart. You do not have to prove you are strong by hiding your pain. I never wait for you to be perfect before coming close. I wait for you to come just as you are tired, honest, and undefended. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Psalm 34, verse 18. My grace does not ask you to shine all the time. It only asks that you stay real. The times when you stumble but still refuse to stop praying, those are the true marks of a growing faith. People who walk through the fire carry its light not to burn others, but to warm them. You are becoming someone who does not just speak of grace, but carries it. Freely you received, freely give. Matthew 10, verse 8. Therefore, my child, do not fear hard times. Stay close to me through it all. I am working deeper than you can see, and what I am building within you will survive any storm. One day you will see clearly. It was in your darkest hours that my light shone brightest right inside you. My beloved child, the growth I am producing in you is not about what you achieve, but about who you are becoming. It shows when your words get gentler, when you stay calm during arguments, and when you choose to listen instead of reacting. When you forgive, even while the pain is still raw. These are the real signs of spiritual maturity. Wrap yourselves in compassion and deep kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience from Colossians 3:12. True strength is not born in comfort. They grow where your heart once cracked. My child, I never waste those fractures. I use those cracks to let my light in so it can shine outward. No hardship can block my grace. When you let me live in the deepest parts of your soul, do not be shocked when hard times still come. Even when you choose to obey me, do not assume you are somehow falling short. Right where you feel empty, I am building true abundance. My grace is all you need. From 2 Corinthians 12:9. Let me teach you this truth. Spiritual maturity does not mean perfection. It just means staying connected to me. From that quiet space, you will carry a peace the world cannot understand, an unshakable joy, and a strength that is not your own. God's peace will guard your hearts and minds, just like Philippians 4:7 promises. What I am forming in you through both joy and pain is preparing you for a future you cannot yet see. Now, my child, just be quiet. Let your heart settle like a calm lake after a storm. Let the racing thoughts inside your mind finally grow quiet. I do not expect you to figure everything out or achieve massive things right now. I only ask you to show up, rest here, and let me hold your weary soul. Be still and know that I am God. From Psalm 46:10. With every breath, feel my presence. It matters more than rushed words. The deep peace you crave does not come from fixing every problem, but from letting me carry it all instead. Let go of what weighs you down, the old regrets, the painful memories, and the self-blame that clings to you. You have carried those heavy burdens far too long, not because they are fake, but because you were never meant to bear them alone. Give all your worries to God, because He cares so deeply for you. As 1 Peter 5:7 says, let those worries drift like morning mist. I am not here to judge, but to heal you. I do not come to crush you, but with a gentle heart. Every touch of my love reaches the exact spots where you are hurting most. My beloved, I see you. I fully understand you, and I have never abandoned you. In this quiet space, let me do my work, not with noise, but with truth. You will soon realize that your weakest moments are where I build your greatest strength. And when you stand up again, you will not be the same person who fell. You will be completely renewed, carrying a peace and divine light that no one can steal. My beloved, I have watched it all. I see more than just what you show the world. I see the secrets in your heart and the fake smiles you use to mask your pain. Those moments you stay quiet to keep the peace for others. The nights you lie awake in the dark, unseen. I see the heavy exhaustion you try to hide, even the empty feeling you are afraid to voice. Hear me now. You never have to act strong when you are with me. Never be afraid to admit you are tired. Feeling weary does not mean you are weak. It simply shows that you have loved deeply, that you have poured yourself out, and that you tried with everything you had. I honor your effort. Come to me, all who are tired and carrying heavy loads, and I will give you rest from Matthew 11:28. This rest is not an escape. It is a safe harbor where you can just be yourself without striving or proving anything. My embrace has no conditions and no pressure. Only pure, gentle acceptance. You have spent far too much time surrounded by the constant noise of anxiety, the what-ifs, the if-onlys, and the quiet whispers of the past trying to define you. But today, my child, you can listen to a different voice. It is not loud or demanding, just a gentle whisper, yet powerful enough to silence the noise. Be still in the presence of the Lord from Psalm 37:7. In that quiet, you will hear my voice clearly. I do not need loud thunder to get your attention. I speak with a voice as soft as morning dew, yet filled with unstoppable power. I am whispering to you right now. You belong to me. Not because you do everything perfectly, or because you have finally become good enough, not even because you feel worthy. Right now, I have called you by name. You are mine, from Isaiah 43:1. My beloved, this truth never changes with your shifting feelings. It does not falter when you are weak, confused, or lost. Your past and your mistakes can never erase it. You are mine, and that is the solid ground you can stand on, even when the whole world shakes. So rest, my child, not as a surrender, but to be fully restored. Let me take the heavy weight you have dragged around for years. Let the chaos quiet down so you can hear my voice clearly again. I am right here, constant, true, and never tired of loving you. You no longer have to struggle to earn my love. You are already safe in my arms. Safe in my embrace, you will find your inner strength, your peace, and your real self. Not the perfect person you think you should be, but the soul I have known and loved since the very beginning. Beloved, some of your deepest moments of impact will not come from achievements, but from simply standing tall when keeping going felt completely impossible. I watched you hold on during those days when everything around you fell apart. You cannot see it yet, but I am moving behind the scenes. We focus our eyes not on what we can see, but on the unseen. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Just as a seed must be buried to grow, your faith must endure the dark to become truly unshakable. What you are facing now is not a punishment. It is preparation. I am building a strength in you that nothing can break. My child, every morning I give you is far more than just another day on the calendar. It is a constant promise that I have never stopped moving in your life. The morning light does more than break the dark. It brings to life the promises in your heart. My mercies are fresh every single morning. Lamentations 3:23. Today's grace cannot be found in yesterday's strength. I provide exactly what you need for this moment, right when you need it most. I already know what lies ahead, and I will never guide you into a day without giving you the power to face it. When your heart is caught between anxiety and hope, choose what brings peace. Fear only whispers of the worst-case scenario, but the hope I give you points to my eternal promises. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27, verse 1. I am not asking you to ignore reality, but to see it through my eyes. What you see right now might shake you, but my word will never fail. I never said you would never walk through hard times, but I do give you this absolute promise: you are never alone. When you stumble, I do not watch from a distance. I reach down to lift you up. When you feel lost, I do not wait for you to find your way back. I come looking for you. The good shepherd always finds the lost sheep. Luke 15, verse 4. Even when you are silent, I speak. When you have no words left to pray, I still hear you. Before you call, I will answer. Isaiah 65:24. My child, just keep taking the next step. You do not have to run. You do not have to be perfect. Just do not give up. I am working in the places you cannot see yet, building a spiritual foundation that no storm can wash away. When you look back on this journey, you will see that the days you felt completely broken were the exact moments my power was working deepest inside you. So wake up today with a fresh sense of peace. Not because you have all the answers, but because I am right beside you. And because I am with you, hope is alive. As long as I guide your steps, a way will open. And since you are mine, nothing you endure is ever wasted. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. Remember, you are not just a listener. You are chosen to walk in the daily presence of God's Word. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a daily word of encouragement. Amen. Bless you. Amen. God is with you. Always. Go in peace.